to the Heart, Mind, and Voice Show. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi. We are all back together again.
Yes.
But y'all can see that. Okay, so how are you, ladies? I miss each and every one of you. How are you doing tonight?
We miss you too. Wonderful. And refreshed after all that Thanksgiving food.
Oh God.
Oh
I'm so glad that is over, especially when we're trying to, get in halfway shape. I'm not going to even say all the way, but at least half. And right now with these, Christmas sweaters on, the tradition, everyone. HMB fam, hello, we missed all of you. We are bringing it in this December, this holiday season with these, what do they call them? Ugly Christmas sweaters. And if I tell you that is a truth, you know how they have themes for certain things throughout the year, and it really don't fit, but it's just something like, you know, different. But the ugly sweater, the ugly Christmas sweater, no, fits everywhere. I absolutely hate what I have on. But this is a thing. Some people love Christmas sweaters. I'm sure it's a lot of fun. Right now, I'm not feeling the fun. I feel hot, itchy. Not having a lot of fun. Okay, so ladies, can we see your how can we see your sweater? Look, I'm trying to see. Can I see your sweater? I see peppermint stick. Oh, so anyway.
stand up. Can you see mine? I'm not going to stand up because
Hers is decked out.
I mean, decked all the way out. And here's my. I can't, show y'all too much because I'm hiding a tag. But anyway,
Oh Lord.
it's going back. I don't want it. But I'm so glad to be here tonight. We just want our HMB fam to know, because everybody gets so involved and gets so excited, which it is. It's a lot of fun. Having ugly. I think they even have ugly Christmas sweater parties.
yes,
Or
they
even a
do.
contest. I'm telling you, it definitely could be a contest because I didn't think it could get any Christmassy. But anyway, we are throwing a promo. We have a promo. Whoever sends us a picture of the best ugly Christmas sweater, we have a huge surprise for you. I don't know. Do we have the flyer? We have the flyer, producer. We can definitely show everyone. If not, it's okay. Just look on our social media, YouTube,
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram. It is on all of our handlers, definitely at Heart, Mind, and Voice. You will see that promo. We have a special surprise for you. Whoever can send us a picture of the ugliest Christmas sweater. And let me tell you something, let me tell you a secret. If you need to keep the tag, you need to keep that tag on there. Trust me, it's well worth the the effort. So definitely send us your picture of the best. And you'll send it to heartmindvoiceshow at gmail.com. Again, that email is heartmindvoiceshow at gmail.com. I swear I feel like a quarterback. I feel like a quarterback.
You know what? It's not that bad. I think I'm gonna be that old lady when I get old that wear ugly Christmas
Here,
sweaters.
y'all.
Because I can't help but to be like Christmassy because my birthday is on Christmas
Oh,
Day.
that's right. She was
So
Christmas baby, y'all.
I'm gonna be that lady with the ugly Christmas sweaters in Walmart shopping.
I swear it's hot. This is a small, I believe. Hold on, let me look. I think it's a small. I swear, y'all, I'm burning up.
You
And
gotta turn the air down real low.
you know what? I bet you they get so involved with these Christmas sweaters that they actually have them ventilated and stuff because they're so thick. I don't buy them. I don't ever participate until of course, you guys force me. Yeah, HMB fam, they forced me to participate. But this is our flyer. Tis the season to rock the ugly sweater and win a fabulous prize. Trust me, nobody will turn this prize down. Trust me when I tell you that. So definitely participate. We do have our email in the flyer. It is posted. Will it be posted in our comments?
Yeah, and submit them by December 18th, right?
Yes. December 19th, we would
December
announce
18th.
it.
December 19th?
I mean, you know what? Don't let them.
We will announce it December 18th. It's that Saturday, okay? Lord, leave it up
Mhm.
to the Heart Mind Voice Show. It's all good. You know, we're a little young. It's all good. We have a great show tonight. Did y'all have a great week? Great week, great weekend, great holiday. Are y'all
Let
ready
me.
for this?
You know what? I'm just ready for 20. It's like when you come to close to the end of the year, you just ready for like the year to just end. And I'm so ready to just usher into the new year, which is a sixth year.
Tell us a little bit about that. We don't know.
So six, six is a year. It's about where people are going to be focusing on. So six is a number of health as well as your career, as well as responsibility. So we may find just a little bit of increase in responsibility, but it's a year where most people are going to focus on their health, their well-being, as well as their career, looking maybe for a new career or just maybe to enhance their career. But also six can be in addition to the family. So look, if some of you all don't want to get pregnant, you better be mindful of because addition to the family can be possible if if someone is not pregnant already. Addition to the family could be possible. But also it doesn't mean children, but addition could mean you may meet someone and get into a relationship, or you may get married. So it is a good year, but also is a year of balance. So you got to really make sure that you're balanced in terms of your emotional health, spiritual
Mhm.
health, physical. But the theme for six is going to be focused on your well-being.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Wow. Focus on your well-being. So that's okay. So it's got to be a pretty good year. Seemed like a very emotional year. You know, when we focus on ourselves and family and expansion, that deals with the heart.
So it's important that because especially everything we're going through in the pandemic in the world, it's important that you don't kind of go into your own little shell. We have a tendency to want to do that. So in the 6 years, it's important that you don't do things alone. You don't go into isolation, but you kind of work with your community, because six is a number of community as well. So you try to reach out to your community, whether it's your family, your friends, whoever, and you just engage, and because it's good for your emotional well-being. So
Oh, okay. Okay. So you guys get ready for the year number 6, honey. It's gonna be a year. And even well, that's a Patreon conversation. We'll get to that later. Anyway, let's get into our show. We have a lot to cover tonight, and we have some very good topics, some very entertaining topics to start us off. So we all know that Christmas time, everyone loves to be hugged up with their bugaboo, right? Their babe, their boo. Come on, give me some names. Their
their
love.
sweetie, their
Yes.
their baby, their babe, whatever.
Yes,
Honey.
yes, yes. So let's start off talking about Tiffany Haddish and Common, the breakup. Now now it's recorded as they're not the breakup wasn't a bad breakup. So it's not like there's bad blood, although there were some little things that was said I actually heard come out of her mouth and on her social media videos, kind of like sarcastic, not really ugly, but
Mhm.
things like towards another person. So I kind of knew when I heard it before they officially put it out that they had split. That okay, she said she was getting something new for the new man, and I'm like, okay, sound like her and Common have gone their separate ways. But they did say that their schedules were just, it was just too busy for them to just find time to be with each other and really invest in their relationship. So that brings up an interesting topic. So I feel like when you're really invested in that person, or you have a desire to be invested in this person that you have a interest in, that you're gonna find time. So you ladies, y'all tell me about that. I kind of feel like, well, I don't think they were really invested. I know careers mean a lot to people,
Mhm.
especially when they're in the public eye, and
Right.
they're acting and music, that means a lot, and they're doing other things too. But I also know that love is just as important and it's a priority as well. So
Mhm.
I think that they weren't as invested as they should have been. So what do you ladies think? Serious K, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think like you said, people make time for what they want.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a guy told me that this guy that tried to date me. And when he said that to me, all I could do was get quiet because I didn't make time for him because I didn't really like him like that. And so he just told me, he said, you know what? He said, people make time for what they want. And I
Yep.
just was like, I didn't have a comeback because he was right. And the same thing happened with Common and Taraji. You remember Common and Taraji dated.
Really?
And they,
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah, and they said
At
that it
all.
didn't last because of their schedules. So I'm thinking that this is like the common denominator is him. So is this his thing? Like when he get ready to drop
Oh,
him, it's okay. We ain't spending enough time together, because he's a known bachelor
yeah.
in Black Hollywood. He's known for not really into the marriage scene. But I really wanted them to last, y'all. I thought that
Really?
Tiffany had found. I really did. I was like, okay, this might be different. He
Mm.
might settle down. I thought they were kind of cute. But yeah, I
Wow.
think that that's his mo because you can find time for what you want.
What you want.
Um,
That's definitely
and
true.
and for her to come back and say these things like you heard her say, it's kind of like she was like throwing jabs.
Yeah.
Right,
So did
right.
she, or was she down with this, or is this something that he said? Like, you know what, this is not working. What you think? We should go our separate ways.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Queen A?
So our producer, she sent this information. I love her. She always do her research and send us information. She said
Mm.
Common has been in relationships with Tiffany Haddish from 2018 to 2021, Angela Rye 2017 to 2018, Laura Dern in 2016. So what? Serena Williams? All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
From
Hmm.
2007 to 2011, Taraji Henson, 2005 to 2007, and Erica Badu, 2000 to 2002. But wasn't he dating Amanda Seales at one point?
Did he?
I don't think
Was it
so.
Amanda Seales?
Mm-mm. It was Angela Rye.
Okay,
No.
I don't know why I thought it was Amanda Seales, but it's very interesting because it seemed like I'm looking at his pattern. It seemed to be 2 to 3 years.
4
Um,
years. Yeah.
yeah, so it seems to be a little bit of a pattern. So I'm curious to know some things. There's like some questions that I have, because of his pattern. Like, especially when it comes to childhood. I'm not gonna get into that. That's deep. But
Yeah.
I would say this that he did mention in his book. He mentioned about Erica Badu. So I don't know what happened and what transpired, but apparently he haven't been the same really since that relationship.
Mm-mm.
And maybe he just don't want to get married. Maybe that's just not his thing. But I would say this definitely: if you are, if you to me, they were an odd couple. Like they just seem so odd. He's kind of like mellow. I don't know, but he seemed like fiery women. So,
Mm-hmm.
but they just seemed like they were just on two different levels, and they just seemed very different. But you're right. Like sometimes it takes a lot to build a relationship, especially with that type of career. But
Yeah.
if you are invested in something, you really want to get to know a person, you kind of work it out. Of
Yeah.
course, it can fall off because I know for me, like I online date and everything, and I meet people, and it's like it takes some time to really build that. Like you got because you meet in different people, especially in the industry, you meet in different people, and it
Yeah.
takes some
Mm-hmm.
time to build that relationship. But you got to really be invested in it because I know I've met people, and it's like eventually I stop trying when the interest and I lose interest.
Yeah.
So. And I could lose interest because of career. Maybe I met somebody else that's entertaining my mind more, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But sometimes career can get in the way when you're working too much. Sometimes that can get in the way if you haven't already established a strong foundation. So
I think that,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely agree with both of you ladies. And I also feel like if you know that you're not going to sacrifice your career for anybody, like as far as relationship,
right,
then why bother? Just date, have those friends if you want friends with benefits, or just have those friends. Why bother? Because, you do have those conversations when you're in a relationship as far as dealing with commitment. And
Mhm.
so my thing is, if that's not what you want, I'm not willing to sacrifice my career. Let them know that up front, and then you will have that relationship to where it's very open. It's
right,
not really. It's not so. It's not. You probably won't. Like I look at the women that they have date like the women that have like more like a good reputation that have dated Future. There are two that we know that
Mm-hmm.
have decent reputation. Though, one of them has been with a lot of men, but she still have a good reputation.
Right.
And then she dated Future, and then another one. But thank God, her bounce back is unbelievable. but,
Mm.
but she, like what would possess you to date guys that show you who they are? They show if you
Yeah.
would either of you ladies, if the opportunity, I know Kim, you're married, but if you were, single, if the situation was different, would you be attracted to Future?
Oh no, absolutely
Absolutely.
no.
Man,
And I think that Erica may have scarred Common because
Hmm.
okay, really?
she broke up with him over the phone. She called him and broke up with him over the phone.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's deep. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
A
deep.
whole
And
different
he was really in love with her.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, he said he would stop everything he's doing.
See?
Just like if she called him, he just stop his whole world stop and he just go to wherever
Yeah.
she needed him. But she broke up
See?
with him over the phone.
And then
Wow.
when you just look at that pattern, because they're all well-known women. I don't know about the Laura Dern. I don't know about her. Maybe you ladies know her. I don't really know her. So, but
No, I don't know.
the other ones, you know what? It seemed like Serena was the next long-term relationship
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
And it's amazing because I've watched different documentaries, especially watching. Shout out to that amazing movie. Have you guys seen King Richard?
yeah,
Yeah.
Amazing
It was
movie.
good. It was
it's
good.
really
Yeah,
good.
definitely take some time out and go see it. It's streaming on HBO as well as at the theater. They get credit for both. It's an amazing. Oh, okay, she's the white. Okay, it's an amazing.
Oh, okay.
So definitely take. But in them, like the documentary, that they've made throughout the years. I think I seen one. It's like a documentary. I think on YouTube. You probably can stream it somewhere else, but I definitely know it's Serena and Venus or Venus and Serena. It's like an hour and a half. But
Yeah.
she mentioned like different relationships, and I think she did briefly mention Common, and she kind of laughed, or she said people said I dated, and I'm like, well, did you? I thought they were like a really, but really nothing to it, like nothing to
But
it.
with Common, my thing is like, people like sometimes like he seemed like he didn't bounce back. And people sometimes don't bounce back from a trauma.
Mhm.
I
And
think he should change his name. Well, go ahead.
you know what? Maybe, but it seemed like he didn't bounce back. So it's like I've learned a lot about myself, like dating. I'm learning a whole lot about myself. But maybe like when it's becoming too deep, maybe he kind of like shy away from it or start making excuses, like my career or whatever. But it just seems it may be like when he gets too deep into a relationship, he may get scared and kind of shy away, like you know what, no, just try to come with some excuse because maybe he's afraid to go in and afraid that the relationship may fail because of what happened with Erica Badu, because apparently he really was in love with her. So,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I listen, I understand.
Mhm.
Well, we're moving on from that saga. We wish them both the best and may they continue success. But I really think that he should. How a lot of celebrities rebrand themselves, like they may drop off the puff, like whatever he is now. Bow Wow changed his name, start calling me this now. You
Right.
know how? So maybe you should really think about that. Common. But anyway, moving on. Common, y'all, has meaning behind that. Common.
You know me. I'm gonna look at the meaning right now.
Let's move on to our next conversation. Now we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna talk about when we work so hard, our bodies say, "Look here, no ma'am,
Mhm.
no sir." So we're gonna talk about briefly discuss Teyana Taylor. I love her. I think she's beautiful, wild, and crazy, and sassy. And I
Yeah.
believe it or not, I actually like some of her beats. Now she's very X-rated. I don't know if you guys listen to her
Well,
music.
Shalonda, she's a Sagittarius.
Mm, that explains it. That explains it. If you guys do not understand the zodiac sign Sagittarius, we're gonna let Queen A give you just a brief meaning and understanding. The zodiac
Listen,
sign.
that's a Patreon conversation, but The Sagittarius is someone who's very, I wouldn't say wild, but I think they consider like the wild card, right? The wild child, the wild card. But it's someone who just kind of like very nonchalant, just live life like whatever. Like the Sagittarius is someone who's like whatever, someone who's very outgoing, someone who's very sociable, someone who loves the party, to dance. So that's, yes, that's a Sagittarius. But
Right.
also Sagittarius is someone who's very like the philosopher, the teacher. They've probably been through a lot in life because they have to teach that to the world. So
Mm, yeah. Yeah, we definitely tune in to Patreon on that Sagittarius.
she's saying because that's a part of my that's prominent in the charts.
Well, she had a breakdown. Was it this past week? She's currently touring, but have you guys ever seen her perform? Like
Yeah, she's a great
She's
dancer.
she's a
good. Yeah.
great performer. I mean, and her body is like no other. It's like
Yes.
no,
Mhm.
and she's a great performer. And I guess she definitely gives you your money worth if you attend one of her concerts. Even watch her on TV. If you just take out time to stop and watch her performance, it's well worth the watch. We love her. She's definitely recovering, but she did have that breakdown. So we just want to talk about, when your body, when you and we all get caught up in that, where we can work and work and work and work, and our body just say, "Not today."
Hmm.
Mhm.
Our body will literally say, not today. I'm not going to do it. You can do it, but I'm not going to do it.
Right.
So you can get up mentally, but physically, your body looking like, I'm not.
Hmm.
So
Right.
have you ladies experienced that? Have you had a body breakdown? Tell me about that, Queen A, because she was a workaholic.
Yeah, it's you know what, I can't, sometimes I feel like I can't help it, but sometimes my body forces me into, I mean, I love work. I mean, I hate to say it, but I do. And especially the type of career that I have, the job that I have, is I'm 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm still working. But I would say this: recently I had moved into my home, and when I moved to my home, it's like I was forced to like to stop and to just rest. Like my body could not even do anything, and I hear it all the time. Like Coach Alana, you keep telling me all the time, like, okay, stop working, like get off the computer, stop doing this, stop doing
All
that.
the time.
And I have to force myself and remind myself. And I remember my bishop told me, sometimes you have to stop and smell the roses. And
Mm.
so I'm learning that. And I was the person who was into yoga and everything. So I'm getting back into that because that's what grounded me, where I learned to have a balance between, work and play.
Okay.
So, especially, wanting to be married, wanting to get into a relationship, I realized that that's very important that I take the time out to,
Very.
work on me, work on life, invest into love, invest
Yeah.
into, relationships. So I am learning that. But when you're single, you just kind of like you find
Yeah.
your energy to pour into one area of your life. So
Yeah. Very true. Serious K, what are your thoughts on work?
I
Serious K is another one, y'all.
yeah, I posted a quote on my page and it said, "Sis, breathe. There's
Yeah.
no award for overworked woman of the year."
I know that's
And
right.
and as soon as I posted it, here come my sister. This is
Uh-oh.
you all over. Ha ha ha. So, but it's just in me. It's kind of hard for me to just do one thing. I feel like I need to be doing something. I need to keep busy. Like if I'm not working, I need to have something else going on to keep me busy. And I think it's because I created that out of habit because I started that young, and so I'm still doing it now. But I need to find balance. I know I do because one time my body did break down. I developed vertigo. It's when
Oh.
I first moved here to Dallas, I was working 7 days a week. And I
Mhm.
was working 7 days a week. And I mean, like, I would go in at 8 in the morning, leave the salon sometime 10, 11 o'clock at night,
Mm.
7 days a week because I was trying to build my clientele. And I just remember getting up one morning for work. And when I stood up, the whole room spinned around and I just laid back. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? What's wrong with me? So I didn't
Right.
have a car at the time. So I called my uncle and I was like, something is wrong with me. I feel sick. The room is spinning and I just can't stand up straight. I just like
Mhm.
fell back. So He took me to the hospital and they told me that I had vertigo. And I'm like, what is that? He said, okay. He said, your body's like a machine. Your
Right.
body will constantly will go as far as you'll push it, but your brain couldn't catch up with your body.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
he said that's how vertigo starts. So they gave me some medicine or whatever, and he told me, take a couple of days off and take it easy. And I did for a little bit, but yeah, so I have to learn to create balance because I definitely don't want to experience that again. I haven't had the vertigo since then, but yeah, your body will definitely shut down on you and tell you that something is wrong. And when
Yeah.
your body talks to you, you better listen because it will shut down. You can push and push and push, but when your body says no, it says no. Because I was like, what's going on? I stood up and I'm telling you, I just fell down. So,
Right.
Wow.
yeah.
And I think too, like, to that point, what you were saying, Kim, is that I realized, like, even for me, when I was, constantly working and tired, like, it affected me emotionally. Like, I got to the point where I couldn't even think straight. Like, I was like a machine. Like, I was just like a robot. I was just constantly just focusing on, work, work, work. And I was just doing, 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 where I was not taking the time to process, not taking
Yeah.
the time. You know how they always say you got to set your intentions for the day. When you wake up in the
Yes.
Mhm.
morning, you should be praying, meditating, or whatever, reading, setting your intentions. But I got to the point where it was just like I was becoming robotic, where I couldn't even think. And I'm a creative person, but I couldn't even think because
Yeah.
I was just doing, doing, doing. And then, eventually it catches up. Like, illness
Yeah.
shows up in the body in different ways. It could be emotional illness, it could be physical illness, it could be whatever. But the body has a way of letting you know, and we need to listen to that. But
Yeah.
with what was her name?
Tiana.
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 Yeah, so I read something too where she had lumps in her breast and she had that removed as well. So thank
Oh,
God it wasn't. Yeah, so thank God it wasn't cancerous. But
right.
it was earlier this year. I believe it was like the summertime, but it was earlier this year. But it
Mhm.
just shows how things show up in your body when you're constantly overworking, overworking.
Yeah.
And it's just like I realized, even like in my health, like, and, Coach Line, you know how I am. It's like I don't eat. I mean, not saying I don't eat well, but I don't eat much. But yet, it's like when I'm overworking and I'm not eating, it's like I
Yeah.
start to blow. It has a different reaction where, So I'm learning to definitely, exercise, to do this, to do that, because that brings balance. So, it's important that you stop for a moment, take time to set your intentions, whatever it is you're looking to do for the day, for the year, for the month, whatever.
Right.
Pray, definitely set time to pray. Get your emotional psyche, together. And we talked about this earlier, and I can't remember the scripture. You know how I am with scriptures, but we talked about it earlier, Coach Shalanda, when you said something
What
about
does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his
correct.
soul? Mm-hmm.
Correct. So it's like you can't be so consumed with just making a profit and working and working and working that you forget, because you forget to take care of your own soul, your
Right.
own
Yeah.
being, because it's not going to profit you well. Because at the end of the day, you have wealth, you have this, but you have no health. So
That's true. And like the lady
Yeah.
say, you will, if your body doesn't shut down, you will begin to see things. You will begin to develop sickness
yeah,
inside your body, different areas. And it may be, stress is real.
yeah,
And that's what forms when you're overworked and just constantly going and going and going and not taking that break. That's why vacations are necessary. They're important.
Mhm.
They're a part of life.
Mhm.
You have to take time off, and just because it's vacation, you don't necessarily have to go away, but you can make your vacation just maybe you're gonna binge watch, those series on, people love Netflix, those series,
right,
those addictive series on Netflix,
Mhm.
or maybe you decide you want to go fishing for the week, or there's all different ways to relax and just enjoy you and the extraordinary miracle of silence and quietness and solitude. Just you, yourself, and God. That's a lot. I'm telling you, it will make a world of difference in your life. So balance is definitely important, you guys. So you definitely want to incorporate balance in your life. So we wish her well. Continue,
especially during a pandemic.
Yes.
especially. So we wish her well, and we hope that she and her husband continue much success. I think her husband just won the Dancing with the Stars or whatever. I'm like,
Hmm. Yeah.
bless family, bless family. Speaking of performances, did y'all watch the Soul Train Award?
Yes. Thank you.
Congratulations to Ashanti, y'all. She won the Lady of, was it
Yeah.
the Lady of Soul Award. Congratulations. We grew up with the shot. Wait, yeah, she's well, she's a little younger than us, but
Yeah.
she was in our time. What was that? The early 2000s, the late. What was that?
I
Seriously,
don't quite
I don't even
remember.
know.
I think it was like the late 1990s, early
Okay,
2000s.
something like
Yeah.
that. But we did rock with her music. Did y'all like her music? I liked it.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, she was good.
yeah, she was good. And then Maxwell won the Legend. Was it the Legend of Soul?
Girl, he
No.
We
tore it.
still
You know what? Let me tell
I
you,
love
I love
Max.
Maxwell. Like, no
we
matter
still love Maxwell.
let me tell
Hmm.
you, he just knew he was doing something. I mean, I was watching the audience and how he was engaging with the audience, and I was watching their facial expression. They were really into him, loving him. And then he did that split, honey. We did that split. I said,
Yeah.
That was too funny.
but it's something about him. He just have a sexiness about him that's just like, I just love his music. I love his vibe. And again, he just have an aura where he's just very cool, calm, and collective, and very sexy. So I don't think he's necessarily a good looking man, but he just have an aura
Yeah.
that's like a
Hmm.
sex appeal where like you just fall in love with him, especially his music. So
Hmm.
I can hear his music right now. I want to get to know you.
Hmm.
look, when I was watching the thing, right? You know how I don't know why we do this, but when, especially when you like really feeling, you be sticking your mouth out like that was me the whole time. I turned the TV up. I was in my
Hmm.
living room and I was dancing right along with him.
Yes, I used to fall asleep to Maxwell. When I
Oh,
See,
first moved to Dallas, I didn't have a TV, but I had
really?
a radio, and I would
Mhm.
fall asleep to his
Oh,
CD.
wow. Did you see the Soul Train? Did you like the Soul
I
Train?
didn't watch the whole thing. I watched some clips, and I did see his because I love me some Maxwell. So I
Yes.
saw his. Yeah, he did
Yeah.
good.
I did a
So,
lot to his music.
so did y'all see the host?
I saw some clips.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So y'all, let's get into a topic. You
No, no, no,
guys,
no, 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 no. Let's talk about a little about the host.
if
The
y'all had
host.
tuned into the Soul Train, it was very entertaining. It really was. I think they acknowledge a lot of the celebrities that are coming out now. A lot of
Yeah.
the newcomers. Of course, they went back a little bit as well. Of course, it's the Soul Train Award, so that's like their, that's who they are, and and they really try to stick as close as they can because it's a little different nowadays, but as close as they can to R&B.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jasmine, what's her name? Jasmine Sullivan.
Sullivan.
I think she won like several.
Yeah.
More than one, I know that. And I love her. Do y'all love Jasmine? I
Yeah,
think
I have her music
I like
downloads.
her. I like her.
yeah, she has a beautiful voice, beautiful, and I
Mhm.
like her speech too. So it was good. Definitely tune in. Let's support
Wait,
those.
did you see what she had on though?
It was
What
great. So let y'all listen.
No, no,
I
no,
did
no, no,
too.
no. Wait. Let's talk a little bit about what she had on. Like she had a magician outfit. Like the cape, she had the cape. It was I don't know what she was trying to do, and then she was going overboard. And then she was going overboard. I don't understand why she was I mean, she's always been kind of like very dramatic, very like, flamboyant and everything. But I think she was doing a little bit too much. So
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It was a great show. Y'all definitely support Soul Train Awards. They definitely support us 100%. And the one thing I noticed about Soul Train Awards, the women or the singers, I didn't mean to say women, but the singers that they kind of overlook, like at the Grammys, like some other award shows, maybe Billboards, MTV, um, they Soul Train be sure, they're sure to recognize the ones that we know.
Yes.
Like the little young girl, I think she has a beautiful voice and she's a great entertainer. Normani, I don't know if you guys know her.
I
Normani,
don't know her.
um, Google her or YouTube her. She has some really nice, and this, of course, it's the latest. It's the millennial style. But I like it if you guys work out a lot. If you work out a lot, and she is a really good entertainer. We listen to Beyonce; she in that same genre. So,
I have to check her out. But I did see. Did you see Bruno Mars in the what's his
yeah,
group
so
called?
it has it the I forgot what they're called. Producer, you can think of that.
Sonic or something? I
Silky
don't know.
Soul,
But
Silky
I loved how they did it on the
Sonic.
Soul Train stage.
Mhm.
Oh my God. I love that performance. It was so good.
I like Bruno Mars. So is he not? Is he not on
He's
his
in
own?
a group now. Yeah, he's
Oh,
not
he's in a
solo
group.
anymore. He's
Okay, and
yeah.
they do take us back to like the old school. I get that
Mm-hmm.
old school, feeling from
Yeah.
them. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I mean, it's cool. They're
Yeah.
cool. They're all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I
They're cool.
like.
I like Bruno. He's extremely talented. Uh,
Yes.
Singing, entertaining. He's extremely.
Yes.
And the group is pretty good. It was my first
Mm-hmm.
time I had heard it. You know how you hear it in passing, but I didn't.
It's
I
like
didn't.
a mixture of new school, old school.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to do something different, and it's working. People
Yeah.
love it. I think
Yeah.
it's called Bruno Mars and the Sonic or something like that.
Something. I
Yeah,
can't think of the name of it.
yeah, something like that. But Google it.
Right.
So let's get into get into some of our topics tonight. Those definitely we wanted to give some shout out to the Soul Train Awards and some people that we really, really are great fans of. The Teyana and the Tiffany Haddish in common. But let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about, we're going to really switch gear. We're going to talk about blended families. Blended families, it's extremely common nowadays. I think blended families is more common than a normal or regular family.
Yeah.
What would
Yeah.
you say, Serious K? I think it's more.
Yeah, it
If you
is.
have to weigh it out or scale it, I think
Yeah.
blended families would be probably 70%.
Yeah.
Regular families would be what, 40? No.
Yeah.
What is that?
Because it's
I
hard to
say
meet
20,
somebody now that don't have kids.
30. What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Because it's hard to meet somebody now that don't have kids. I mean, my husband don't have kids. I was blessed, but it's kind of hard. It's like a needle in a haystack. So yeah, I agree.
Very hard. So the topic we want to talk about tonight concerning blended families, HMB fam, is accepting all parties. And I believe it was a story of Sirius Camel. Let you explain that story a little bit. Go ahead.
Well, this young man, he has a baby for this female, his significant other, and he had a child by a previous relationship, but the girlfriend doesn't like the daughter from the previous relationship, so the daughter cannot come over to visit when when the daddy goes to spend the night. The daughter from the previous relationship is not welcome to stay over nights.
Wow. So they're together as a couple.
Hmm.
They're not married, they're just dating.
No, they're just together.
They're just dating, HMB fam. They're a couple dating. They're serious about each other. They have a child together as well as bringing kids into the relationship. I think she has
Yeah.
kids and he has kids.
Yeah, and she does have kids from a previous relationship as well.
But
Hmm.
she does not like, though they have a child together, she does not care for his daughter.
Yeah.
Now, is there a reason why she doesn't care for his daughter? Which it doesn't matter, but is there a reason? Like, does she
He didn't state the reason. He asked, was it should he stay? Is this normal? So he didn't say why, but he didn't say the girl's age. He just said he had a little girl. So I was just thinking maybe elementary age. I don't know. His little girl. So
So y'all, we got to help him out here. You never know. He may Google the show one day and you see the family topic. You
yeah.
don't want to know, like, how do you guys handle it? I would definitely say, you know, blended families is hard. I think counseling is definitely necessary for couples if you're looking towards marriage, even if you're coupling and you decide that you want to stay together, but maybe you don't want to get married, but and more so in his case, in those cases where you have a child together, plus kids from previous relationship, and you guys all have to blend together because you are a family, whether you like it, accept it, you're a family.
Mhm.
So it's all in the best interest of the child. So that's the one thing he has to. It's in the best interest now they have a child together. So if she, it's kind of hard for her to not even want to accept his child when they have a child, because if something were to happen to him, roles can reverse, karma can follow. What if that person doesn't want to accept your kid? So I feel like he definitely has to take that into consideration. And if she does not want to accept his child, then unfortunately they may have to, kind of go their separate ways and, just become great co-parents and get
Mm-hmm.
the help that they need, the coaching or the counseling to kind of guide them through their
Right.
co-parenting.
But
Yeah.
I wonder why. What is
That's
it
what I
that?
asked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was wondering too. Like, what happened there? Why is it that? I remember my mom. At the time when she had me, he had a child, and they both of them had grandchildren. My son, and then he had a grandson. And I remember where she was okay with my son coming over to the house, but she didn't like her significant other. She didn't like his grandchild coming to the house. And I would always ask her, like, why? But it was just a jealousy thing where she felt like he was
Mm.
giving more attention to that party rather than her or my son. So, it was a lot of jealousy there where she was thinking, where you showing favoritism. I don't like that you're showing favoritism. So it
Mhm.
could be where it could be something where she may feel like it's favoritism. But I definitely would say counseling, but it's a lot to that because, when you have a blended family coming together, favoritism can show up because, it's not necessarily your child. So you may look at it like you're paying more attention to your child, outside of us rather than our child that we have together.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it gets into being territorial or jealous. But
Yeah.
definitely counseling is needed in that aspect because
Yeah.
but I grew up in a blended family, and I would say this, like, I was really lucky and blessed, and it was a quote that I read the other day, and it said, I can't remember the quote exactly, but it talked about, okay, here it is. So it talked about, it said, all mothers, although it could be anyone, it doesn't have to be mothers, but it was someone who was a mother figure in my life that really helped change my life. It says, all mothers are warriors who have given life, and all stepmothers are warriors who can change a life.
Mhm.
So that's very powerful because I
Mhm.
would say this, that my stepmother, she really did change my life. And sometimes so we can be selfish sometimes, but you gotta come in, and these are children. You gotta think like, okay, they're innocent in this situation. How can I bring transformation into their life? How can I bring love into their life and like get outside of me, get outside of, because we together, we have a child together. So let me get outside of what, who I am and what I want, and really blend this family together, especially if she want to be with him, if she want to marry
Yeah.
him and be with him. Look to see how can they blend it together. But I think it's just jealousy,
And
probably.
and it's you commonly hear about men being this way, but you don't hear much about women being that way because we're looked at as nurturers. We
Yeah.
just have it. It's just in us. We just take kids in and we love on them and we nurture them just like they were our own. Which
Hmm.
that's what we're supposed to do. And
Right.
like you said, Queen A, I think it's very selfish of her to be like that because not only selfish with him, but I mean these girls are siblings because the baby
Right.
is a girl, her baby
Right.
is a girl, and then this is a girl, so they're siblings. You
Yeah.
shouldn't keep your child away from her sister. You know,
Exactly.
Mhm.
you have to think about the repercussions too when your child becomes a little bit older and she starts asking questions. Well, why Sissy
Right.
can't come over, or why this or that, or and the other kid she doesn't understand. I'm sure she's probably asking her dad questions like why I can't go over there and this is and that. Like you said, the child is innocent, and also we have to remember these are the hard questions, which it shouldn't be too tough, but these are the
Right.
hard questions that we ask when we start dating. But sometimes, we date and we just get in the bed and we just feeling good and we having a good time. Then up here come a baby. But we never talked about, oh, I got this kid over here. How do you
Yeah.
feel about kids?
Yeah.
Are you okay with her, being over here, or whatever, because I'm sure that she probably expects him to accept her other child or children, whatever, and treat them as his own because, hey, he's over there with them. He's
Right.
leaving his kids somewhere else. so
Right.
he can be over there with them. So I'm sure she expects something different from him. So I think it's selfish and it's unfair.
Yeah.
It's all gonna come back on if she don't change her ways.
Yeah.
That's
I'm so
exactly what I
curious to know. I'm really so curious to know why. And then she's creating animosity against siblings. So
Mm-hmm.
I remember Iyama did a show on. It was a blended family, and the children, like, from different mother or father, whichever one it was, but she was coaching them, and she was like, she said, I'm so disgusted with you all as parents because you created this. Like, here it is, they're siblings and they hate one another because of what you created. So,
Yes.
so it's very interesting to know that that's a conversation that needs to be had when it comes to blended families, because that's a very difficult thing, and
You know
it's
what? And kids are wiser than we get them credit for. When I think about it,
yeah,
when they get older, they see stuff, they notice stuff, and
mhm,
they will address it. They will say stuff, and they will change.
right,
Because I was married before, blended family,
yeah,
and I remember one time my ex was mad at me about something, so he asked his kids, y'all want to go ride to, I'll say, what, a burger, go get a burger, y'all want to go ride to get a burger, and his kids saw what was going on. By this time they all
see,
teenagers, and they like, well, Jamie and Jerome, they got to go too, can they go? He
see,
looked like
right,
real funny, because you mad
right,
at me, so
yeah,
you gonna try to punish my kids. So
Oh yeah.
they all got in the car.
yeah.
Hmm.
And
So kids see
jealousy,
stuff.
jealousy can easily happen. Like,
Yeah. Hmm.
because not even just with the children, but like a mother, a father, whatever, they can become jealous of the child because their significant other is paying more attention to the child rather than So it definitely, that's how.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
People are
I mean, that
crazy.
can happen. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I want your attention. I understand you have children, but I want your attention, and your attention is divided. Like, and then from the other side, like, say for me, I mean, my son is grown. At the time, I remember when I was dating someone, and we lived together, and I felt bad that I broke up my marriage. And my son's father, who was my husband at the time, my ex-husband, I felt bad for breaking that union up. So when I got with someone else, I kind of babied my son in a sense, or kind of paid more attention to him because I felt guilty, and it created a situation with the guy that I was involved with. So the relationship ended up bad because we just could not come to terms and see eye to eye, because he felt like I babied my son, or I paid too much attention to him, or he felt jealous at time because he's like, well, I'm trying to be with you in bed. Instead, you in the bed with your son, trying to put him to bed. So, so it created a lot of animosity, a lot of jealousy, and I wasn't mature enough at the time. I mean, I understood where he was coming from, but I wasn't mature enough at the time to know how to handle it or to have that conversation to bring healing to it. So,
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
wonder how old were the guy that asked the question, Serious K. I wonder how old was he? Like, because I
Yeah.
do think about age definitely play a factor when it comes to blended families. It takes a lot of growth, maturity,
Hmm.
understanding, compassion, definitely a lot of compassion. And we do know, a lot of blended families, most of them, I'm not going to say every, it's obvious, not every blended family, but a lot of them start off young because when you're grown and when your kids are grown, it's a little different, and kids are
Hmm.
very accepting. They're adults, they don't really care. As long as you're good, you happy, they're happy. Like, hey, because they don't have to live in that same home, and they know their father and their mother, and it's like, hey, they have that outside relationship with their parents. And if they don't have it with both parents, it's all good now.
Hmm.
They're adults. So when it's little ones, I think that, and when age plays a factor with the adults too, as far as the maturity level. Because there's things that you have to consider you don't consider until you're more like our age, and but it's too late.
Hmm.
Most of the time, most kids are that we have around our age are adults. It's very few of us that have little ones. So now in hindsight, looking back, it's like there are so many things I would consider had I known. When you know better, you do better. I know better now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can see things and hear things. And if I don't agree with living a certain way, or living in a certain area, or if I don't agree with the way you're raising your kids, and I know if we get together, we got to incorporate each other. But there still may be some distance. then you're not the only person on earth. And it's
Mhm.
okay. There are options out there. I'm just not the one because I'm not I know it would eventually bring issues into the relationship. So I think that it definitely takes mindfulness
Yeah.
when you're getting together in a blended family. And that's what a lot of couples are missing because they starting off young most of the time,
Mhm.
these little ones, and they are just not there intellectually. They're not there.
Yeah.
So
Coach Shalonda, you said something which was really good because you mentioned about raising the child, right, or raising their child.
Mhm.
When you get involved with someone who has children, you don't know. It's another good conversation to have with a person is how they raise their children because
100%.
you may be different in terms of your upbringing, how you raise your child. So then you come together with a person, and you may be somewhat, you may feel differently in terms of, well, I didn't raise my child like this. I don't even know how you raise your child like this, and that creates a whole issue. So
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
another conversation to have. Like, how do you, understanding how a person raised their child?
Yes, it
Does it
is.
agree with your beliefs as well? Because that of course that person coming into another person's life is not the parent of the child. Well, I wouldn't say they become the parent in a sense, but not the biological parent. But it becomes that person becomes a guide. So
Yes.
so you want to make sure that you all are you are cohesive in terms of how you raising the child, what your beliefs are in terms of raising children and
Mhm.
so forth. So that's
And
another
that's a
conversation.
deep, that's a very deep subject because in coming in as a step parent, you have to, especially when the kids are a little bit older, like when they're like 2 or 3, you have a little hand in it, because they're, it's new or whatever. But when they're a little bit older, I think that the two parents have to sit down and talk because you don't know the history of that child. You don't
Right.
know why,
Yeah. Why
I'm
they?
raising him or her this way because you don't know their history or their background. So if that child experienced some type of trauma, anything like that, you talk to your significant other and say, hey, we can't yell at her or we can't yell at him or we can't do this or that because this child experienced some trauma. So the history of your children too, and the history of you and your child together, because you probably experienced the trauma together.
Yeah.
So that's a conversation. Those are conversations that have to be had.
Mindfulness, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're young and you're just all into you and all into that other person, be it he or she, and
Hmm.
the kid just have to, it's my life. I live the life that I want. I've actually witnessed, been in that type of relationship to where there was trauma, that on all ends because all you thought about was yourself, and that kid is extremely important. Yes, you can move on with your life and go on with your life, and you have to live your life, but it's not just about you when you're raising kids. It's about them as well, and they're
Yeah.
just as important. They're equally important. So blended family takes a lot of coaching, counseling, knowledge, awareness, awakening. So definitely do the work. Definitely get the work in and do the work, do the research, do what it takes to really be a true blended, healthy, and successful families. So let's move on real quick, ladies. I want to talk. It's two subjects I want to try to squeeze in there if we can. The first one, we're not going to talk about this for too long, but I definitely want to talk about that on for a little while. But this one, because this is the holiday time. Christmas time is here. Happiness is here. Okay. Anyway, when you get that, they have gift exchanging. So there's gift exchanging all over the place right now. Job, if those of you that are working in a building, inside, and you guys are still able to collaborate with one another and amongst each other. And then, you have it within the family. Sometimes, you may get Uncle Cheap Jean or Aunt Cheap Sarah, and then they turn around and get you these unique, I would say unique gifts. Now they do say it's not the gift, it's the thought that count. Do y'all believe that? Like, do y'all live by it's the thought that count? Or how do y'all react when someone give you a gift?
No, because they didn't put thought into it.
I mean,
They did.
I would say for me, um, I always because I don't know a lot of times, especially if you're exchanging, I just don't know what type of gift giver. Now there's some people that I know are the bomb. You ladies, I've experienced y'all
Yeah, yeah.
the bomb can give gifts out this world. Really, it comes from the heart, and you get what I like. Who's
Right.
gonna turn down money? Who's gonna turn down gift cards? Who's gonna turn down,
Mhm.
things that we know? So it's like when you know somebody, but yet you still give them maybe a fruit basket.
It
A fruit
depends on
cake.
who.
Give me a fruit basket if you want to. I wish you would.
You
God
know, you know what? That right there. I mean, I would say a person I'm very grateful, but it depends. Like, I would let a
not
person
me.
know, I would let a person know, Shalana, I've told you about how I am with my, like, I want. I mean, money is always good. You always get money, but it's
Right.
like I like this too because it's the thought that you put into it. And I'm the type of person that I take my time and I give like the best gifts. I take my time to really think about what the person
Yeah.
like and need and everything. But I would say, I would probably let a person know, depending on what it is. I'm like, you know what? I don't really. I mean, I appreciate the gift, but I don't really like this. I'm not gonna say I don't like this, but this is what I like going forward. Like I like this, I like that, and I kind of tell a person.
Mhm.
But sometimes if the person's sensitive, I'll just take the gift and I'll re-gift it to somebody.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Serious K, how do you handle those fruit baskets, fruit cake? What is it? Is it
Well,
fruit
you
cake?
know what? I'm gonna say this first. I think we need to start a new trend.
Mhm.
Okay.
Take your unwanted gifts and have a party, and everybody exchange them. Cause
Already?
I love
I take fruit
that.
baskets because y'all know I like to eat. Girl, I be smiling so
I love
hard.
fruit
I be
baskets.
tearing them oranges up. Shalonda, you
Really?
want to try it, girl? So
Oh, I love that.
somebody need to start that trend during the holidays. Have a
Wow.
yeah,
Well, Kim,
like
you
like
started.
maybe on New Year's or something. They could do that
Right.
after Christmas.
Yeah, because
But
that's with the gifts. Oh, I
but
love
for me,
that.
okay, so that's why I always give gift cards. Like if I don't know you really well, I don't know what you like, I'll just get a Visa gift card or something. Because I don't want to waste my money.
Right.
But if I know you, if I know you and I've watched you, I've seen stuff you like, I listen to you and I hear you saying, "Oh, girl, I love." Butter popcorn. I'm just throwing
Right.
out something. Or I
Right.
love purses. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm gonna get her. She like a purse. But if I don't know you well and you haven't given me any hints, then I'm gonna always do a gift card. Now, if you gave me, this is a good way to do clothes and shoes and stuff. You gave me an article of clothing and I don't like the color, I'll say, hey girl, did they have this in red?
Oh
Or did
yeah.
they have this in green, girl? Because I love that shirt. It's the bomb. But did they have it? And so that person is probably gonna say, oh, you know what? Maybe I can give you the gift receipt. Or if it's shoes, you may want to say, oh, these are a little tight,
Right.
these are a little tight. Or if you don't like them, just say, hey, you think I can get some mules or some wedges? You got the gift receipt. Some people don't get offended, especially like family. It's easy to tell family stuff like that. But now I always tell my people, my family, I tell them this. I won't tell my friends, but I always say, listen, if you don't like that, let me know. Because I can take that back
Right.
and get my money back. Or I can get a gift card.
Right.
Because I don't like wasting my money. But yeah, so I think that we should start a new trend,
Love
have a
that.
party,
Serious K after
unwanted
Christmas
gifts.
exchange.
So when you
Serious K
said that,
Christmas exchange. I love that.
let me tell you really quick. This when you said that, Kim, I love that idea. I hope you do it. I'll make sure I'll be there this time.
Yeah, I'm
But
serious.
I went to this party. This mom used to give a party every year in New York, and you don't know, so you got to buy a gift, but you had to buy a gift within a certain range. But you can kind of use what you say, Kim.
Hmm.
But you don't know who you're going to give the gift to, so you select a number, right? So when you have a number, you have a chance. I forgot. I think odd or even. So if you have odd numbers, you can re-gift it. Like say if you get something, it costs like
Oh,
the gift is like $200, right? And then all of a sudden somebody pull an odd number. Now you have to re-gift and give that gift to somebody
oh,
else. So you keep exchanging it until you may end up with a bad gift. You may end up with a good gift. But I love that idea. You can kind of mix it,
hmm.
and
And
just
we have to have disclosures. No, video recording to take because we don't want to hurt nobody's feelings.
oh
You
yeah,
putting it
you're
on
right.
Facebook and your mama see it. You done gave somebody that ugly Christmas sweater I gave
That
her.
Christmas sweater I got her. I'm telling you now, I'm gonna get rid of
You know
it.
what? I love that. That's a great idea.
Serious
Hmm.
K after Christmas exchange. After
Yeah.
Christmas gift exchange. I love that. Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, you should really, really consider that. But
Yeah.
I just put the disclaimer out there. I'm always grateful for gift cards and money. Period.
Yes.
I like things, certain things. I love, especially I love them, but maybe I don't like. I love heels. I don't wear this. I cannot wear those heels like I used to. But I love heels. Absolutely love
Mhm.
heels. I love beautiful, fashionable purses. I mean, some of us that know me, I can't keep a purse clean to save my life. But
Girl, my purses. Oh God.
but I love purses, but because I can't keep them, and I work so hard, I try to make sure it's organized, and I'm gonna have my makeup over here, my wallet over here, honey, everything that come across. I think it's having young kids. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, it's having young kids. Kids to do it.
Well,
I
you
have.
know, since we put in gift what we like in gifts, I'm gonna share what I like.
Oh
Oh,
So,
Lord.
and I like smell good. Go ahead on.
oh God. So money definitely, but everyone who knows me, like I love reading. I love anything involving books and learning. I love anything involving spirituality, like astrology and all of that. But the main thing is I love health products. Like if it's like a massage or if it's like a juicer, anything that involves in health that enhance my health, I love that.
We know.
And also decorating, like home goods, anything like that. I love home goods. Now I do need stuff, but I like pocketbooks and stuff like that. Like those things, like I don't typically invest in myself, and I usually get gifts from it. But so I would love like a pocketbook, a purse, whatever, because I love that stuff, but I never go and get it. So Kim, what about you?
Girl, I love money, gift cards,
She said money
and restaurant gift cards. But listen,
and
but they
food
got I like five-star restaurants. So
Yeah, oh
five-star restaurant
So
gift
you're not gonna
cards,
take my Cheddar's gift card. So you
purses. Oh yeah, I take it.
gonna take
I go there for lunch. We can work it out. I like to eat, so yeah, I go lunchtime. But yeah, I
my
like
McDonald's
money, gift
card.
cards, food, purses. Oh y'all know. Oh God, I love purses.
We
But
know.
let my husband tell it I don't need another one. But yes, I need another one.
You know how we have that fetish, that one thing that we like mine is shoes. I am just crazy about heels, shoes, all different type of funky style. I mean, I have probably every color in my now I don't again, I just don't do it like I used to with the heels. I think I had on some heels maybe a couple of weeks ago. I went out to dinner,
right.
lunch or whatever it was. I didn't think I was gonna make it. I
Girl,
in
I
the
know.
restaurant. I'm just
I
like walking like Betty Boo or something.
I'm like that now
Run to
too,
the I was trying to run
girl.
to my seat. And when it was over and I was walking out of the restaurant, I was trying to run out because you know how the restaurant floors were slick. And I had on it was see-through heels and they were the little slide and they were heels and they weren't platforms and all that. They were nice, sexy, classy heels. So not pole heels or anything like that. And I
Yeah,
just couldn't do it. I was sliding and I was
it's age. I think it's age because I love me some heels too, but right now I can't wear them like I
can't
used
do
to.
it.
Mm-mm,
Not like we used to.
mm-mm.
Just and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, every color. I like to make sure I have every color. And I still have them. And still will buy them. I will still buy shoes, put them in the closet, won't be able to wear 'em. I
Yes,
won't be able to wear 'em. Only certain occasions, and then I'm like, you know what? They look
I
good in the
know.
closet.
Oh yeah, and Starbucks, y'all. Starbucks.
She's still thinking about the bills. Lord have
I
mercy.
know.
Let's move on.
I'm
You know,
trying to get my head.
let's squeeze in this last topic for the night, y'all. We really want to bless HMB fam with this because so much of this is going on, especially during the pandemic. Oh my God. It seemed like people are on a whole nother level of crazy. But is avoiding other people's suffering good for your mental health and energy? A lot of people are going through some things, friends, family, strangers. Sometimes people can become leeches. I'm talking about friends, families, strangers. And is avoiding that, is it good for your mental health? Do you think like you should be there sometime? And you think it's a certain there's a certain time frame, then you just gotta let it go and let them go and then move on with your life. What are your thoughts on that? And we're gonna start with Serious K. You tell us about your thoughts on
You
moving
know,
on or hanging in there.
I'll say sometimes it is okay. But you always want to be there for people. You always want to let them know that you're open and you're here and I can be your outlet. You want to do that. You want to make yourself available because people need you. People need somebody to talk to. People, need you. But there's sometimes I've seen mothers suffering behind their children, behind them suffering. Because if we're connected, if you hurt, I hurt. So if I'm connected to you, Coach Shalonda, if you're hurting, I'm hurting.
Right.
So in saying that, if you have a friend that's just say that, I guess they have an addiction and they're saying that they want help and they're tired of being addicted to this, they're tired of being, and you have taken them to rehab, you've probably even sat through some counseling, you've probably even done counseling with them, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And then you
Mhm.
just spinning your wheels, you just talking and talking. Next thing you know, you're stressed out, you tired, you running behind them, trying to find out where they are, trying to save them. Again, mothers with their children, with children that they have problem children. Maybe they're in and out of jail, maybe they're running with gangs, and you're trying to set them straight. You're trying to get them on the right path, and they're just not listening. I've seen mothers get sick. I've seen mothers be stressed out, depressed, in the hospital, having strokes, having high blood pressure, developing all these illnesses. So sometimes it is healthy to just pull away, to just back
Yeah.
up. Just leave a word of encouragement because you still want to do that. You want to do the right thing.
Right.
Leave a word of encouragement and then you step away because you need some time to now take care of yourself. While you out here, you trying to take care of everybody else. Now you need to take care of yourself because you can pour and pour and pour into people to where you have nothing else left.
Mhm.
One of my good friends, she call them emotional vampires. People will
Mhm.
suck the life out of you, literally. So we want
Mhm.
to back away from those emotional vampires. Now
Yes.
you got some folks out there that'll listen to you, and hey, they'll help. You'll help them. They'll listen to you. They'll go on the right path. They'll get their life together. Those people, yes, they're worth investing your time in. But sometimes we have to know when to pull away.
That's right. Queen A, what are your thoughts?
So I always think that because I had a habit of always wanting to help people, and then also I realized that I seem to draw people that just looking for guidance or looking for some help, especially mentally. But I believe like every counselor needs a counselor, right? And to me, if a person coming to you and looking for some type of guidance, you become a counselor. Every listener needs someone to be listened to. So if someone is pouring into you, you need to know how to release that because that energy kind of sits with you. You got to know how to, kind of let it go. But for me, I love being like, I love being there for people, being a counselor or whatever. But one thing I would say is I had to learn how to not try to help everybody, but wait till the person come to me. So I'm learning that when I see a person needs help, I'm not going to reach out until they ask me for it or until they say, because sometimes people just want to be listened to. They just need to kind of pour out and listen to, not looking for no guidance or whatever. But also, I'm learning to watch for what's unhealthy. So a person's suffering can be unhealthy. And when it's unhealthy, then it becomes unhealthy to you and it messes up your whole well being. So you want to watch for that. But if I see a person is needing help and is like to the detriment of their health, then that's when I kind of step in, like, hey, like I see you slipping, I see you fall into a depression, I see this, and I try to be there to kind of help lift them back up. But I am learning not you can't help everybody. So because their suffering can become your suffering. Next thing you know, you're suffering and you wondering why. So it is important to kind of watch for that.
Yeah, it is. You ladies, y'all make some very good points. You know, I'm not trying to be funny, but there's one, the best advice in the world. When somebody is burdened and heavy laden, give them to Jesus and keep going, okay?
Mm-hmm.
No trouble,
Mm-hmm.
come on. No,
Mm-hmm.
but you have friends, you got families, like siblings, but you definitely got to set that boundary. I mean, there's boundaries for every aspect of life. So people will definitely take advantage, and they will be those emotional vampires, I believe you said, Serious
Yeah.
Tay.
Mm-hmm.
And they would take advantage of you and suck the living life out of you. So you definitely got to have those boundaries there. And and be frank and be open and be truthful with those individuals that are going. When you let me tell you something. Let me give y'all a secret to get rid of emotional vampires. Tell them the truth. You
Oh
can
yeah.
leave.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
know that from experience. Hello,
Mm-hmm.
tell them the truth, and they will get off your neck and run to another neck. So
I just tell them they
That's
get on
right.
my nerves. Like if you can know my nerves, don't.
Mm-hmm.
tell them the truth. If
Yeah.
they are stupid when it comes to relationships, if they are foolish when it comes to, with spending their money, whatever it is, just whatever
Mm-hmm.
they're going through. If they are making dumb decisions, just when they know better, but they're not
Mm-hmm.
doing better, tell them. And I can 100%. You can come back and you can tune into this show. You can ask the producer, can you let me in? Because I want to tell her she was telling the truth. I,
Mm-hmm.
I want to let that coach know she was. When you tell a person the truth, they will back off or they will straighten up. They will
Yes,
no
ma'am.
longer
Because I got so many people mad at me just for telling the truth. Because you know how your nerves just get bad and they just keep on,
loyalty.
you just go, you being
Uh-huh.
a fool. You just stupid.
Yeah.
And then
Uh-huh.
you're like, oh Lord, did I say that?
Yes, yes, we can eliminate a lot of vampires out here. We can eliminate a lot of people that take advantage of your energy. Don't sugarcoat. I am like that to a fault. I'm guilty of it a lot to a fault. I will tell somebody the truth and they will say you talk too much. Oh, you're not nice, you're not sensitive. I don't have a lot of vampires in my life either. I don't have that problem. I really don't. Because I will tell you the truth. Yes, it's in love. Sometimes I can't pick up that younger spirit in a minute and go there with you. But that's what begins and starts the healing in individuals'
Yes.
lives. So just tell that
Mhm.
person the truth. Tell that joker the truth and see what they straighten up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like you wanted to say something, Queen. A. Did you want to say something?
No, I don't want to take up too much time. So
Got you, got you. Serious K, are you done with your thought? Did you have something else to say?
Yeah, I'm done. I was just gonna say what you were
Serious
saying.
K
A
was
real friend, somebody that love you, will tell you the
yeah.
truth.
That's
mhm.
right, y'all.
Yeah.
Now take that to heart. We love you. This has been a fabulous, awesome show. We hope that we said something that will continue to inspire you along this beautiful life's journey. And God's willing, we will see you all next week. And guess what? A beautiful Christmas attire. But don't forget about our contest, y'all. The ugly sweater promo. We have a fabulous gift. We named that gift tonight. You were listening? You'll know. But anyway, love y'all. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.